Hey y'all, how y'all doing? What's up? What's up? So we're going to jump right in this thing and we're going to talk about just two main topics. The highlight of Real Housewives of Atlanta, this last episode. I think it's like episode 6, maybe. Anyway, let's get into it. We're going to talk about two topics. One, me feeling like Porsha fixing to lose her good job down on Bravo. I feel like she's about to lose her job. Two, Britt, Edie still doing too damn much. Let's start with Porsha. Porsha ain't bringing it, y'all. And I feel bad for our girl Porsha. Now, I don't know. I used to go for Porsha so bad, y'all. I promise you. I used to windmill for Porsha. I used to love me some Porsha, but I just, I don't know. I don't know what to say about her these days. But anyway, Porsha is not bringing much of a storyline. Like, the best thing she got going on now is the vague story of Dennis and what's her face, Drew, what they got going on, whether or not they trying to sabotage her whole life and career on the show. And that's very loosely tied because Porsha ain't really trying to talk to Drew. Drew just trying her best to get Porsha to talk because, you know, Drew needs some screen time. So she trying to get Porsha and Portia's not giving her no energy on it. And then we all know all the stuff that's going on with Porsha and Simon, their divorce, and how Simon's basically like, basically, Healthy, you ain't making about to make a penny off of me. So if we remember back before they started airing this, when they started filming and Porsha and Simon were going through their divorce, Simon was trying to push for basically like a cease and desist. Like, he really didn't want her to have the freedom to talk about their situation. Porsha had to fight very hard to be able to even talk about the details and things going on with her divorce. And we all know that he doesn't want them to film in, quote, his house. So Porsha is having a hard time, in my opinion, bringing a storyline that's keeping people interested. Because I really do feel like if we could film her things going on with her divorce, she would take more of a center stage in the storylines that are going on right now. She's almost showing up as a friend of the show right now, which is like, eek. And I think her girl Shamia is becoming like the peach holder, even though she's not, she's becoming like the center peach holder. And I like Shamia, so, I wouldn't be mad about it. So, but this is why I feel like Porsha is about to lose her job. One, she's not coming with a storyline. And then two, it seems like she's dodging shooting in certain situations. Now, let me give you an example. There was something a couple of weeks ago that she didn't really show up for. And then this week, she didn't show up for Kelly's little brunch that she had for her girl Britt. And so Porsha calls Kelly like at the last minute. All the other girls are showing up and stuff. Porsha calls Kelly and she sound all downtrodden and I guess trying to do her best calling to work sick voice. And Kelly's like, girl, what's wrong? She's like, well, Pilar, she got something sick a couple of days ago and I should have took some medicine then, but I didn't. So girl, I ain't gonna be able to make it, so I just send you all my love. Okay, bye-bye. So that's what Porsha was given when she called Kelly. Kelly is like, okay, but I feel like Porsha is trying to do what we've seen other people do on other reality shows, trying to push somebody else out. Like, for instance, Porsha trying to push out Drew by not choosing to show up and film with Drew, because I think she's not liking that every time she goes someplace that Drew shows up. And I think Porsha feels like, this is my show, my moment. I don't want you taking any of my spotlight. And so I really think that's the real reason why Porsha didn't show up to Kelly's brunch. Because I think she just really wants to not try to film with Drew. But it's like, girl, you have to show up and get that check because Drew is clocking in. Now, Drew, we don't know what Drew really got going on between her and Ralph living in the basement, honey. And I think most of us is kind of bored and over that. But at least Drew is showing up and clocking in every day to get that check. So she's trying to eat. Porsha, we don't really know what you got going on, but it's not looking good. So in my opinion, if Porsha don't figure out some way to be more of the center of attention in this season, I think her being asked back, especially because I know they're paying Porsha a big fat check, is probably going to be not so likely. That's just my opinion. Now let's get on over to Britt. Britt comes to this brunch, and before she gets to the brunch, she's talking to her husband about the whole situation with Kenya, how embarrassed she was, how she was hurt, so on and so forth. Understandable. Then she goes in when she's talking to her husband about how she's about to lose her license, or she lost her license. I don't know. She was trying to say both at the same time. She about to and lost at the same time. It's like either you have or you about to. Which one is it? And she's going to lose her license. And when she first mentioned it to her husband, I was like, because you got nudie pictures? You about to lose your license? Your actual securities license? No, not securities license. Your insurance license? Because there's a security license for like selling stocks and bonds, where it's selling financial stuff. And I got kind of confused because I've actually been licensed for both of those. So my bad. But the home insurance, life insurance, auto, all that stuff, it typically, I mean, I know it ain't the common thing for people to get in trouble for having some pics out there on the web, but usually it has to be something dealing with fraud or some type of money investigation. Something along those lines will put you at risk of losing your license. So when she said that, I was like, you lost your license, you losing your... I was like, I feel like she's drumming this up for dramatic purposes. I was like, I don't know about that, Britt. So anyway, fast forward to when she gets to the brunch with Kelly, and Angela brings it up and asks her. First, Britt's like, I appreciate some of the people that's reached out to me and understanding where I'm coming from. But there's been those who haven't, that are saying they're still trying to see, or they're trying to check in with Kenya. And I don't understand what's the check in with Kenya about. And so when she says that, Angela's like, okay, well, but okay, let me ask you this. You said you're about to lose your you lost your license. How did you lose your license because of this? And Britt just starts snapping and going off on her. What do you mean? This and this and that. Why are you trying to stand up for somebody else who is dead wrong? And she just going off on her, getting real ignorant with Angela. And Angela's like, okay, girl, like I just simply asked you a question. Like, hey, you lost your license on what grounds? What grounds did you lose your license on? And she, because Britt really didn't have a real explanation, she decided to start talking real reckless to Angela, just very similar to what she did to Kenya. Now, was Kenya poking Britt? I can't say at that table she was, but Kenya, you know how Kenya do. She picks at people. So she might have been doing that throughout the whole time she's been dealing with Britt. But anyway, Britt starts snapping and going off on Angela, which she just took things from a 2 all the way to a 10 for no reason. In my opinion, she was doing way too much once again. And Angela's like, okay, like that's too much. So everybody started, it was like, okay, we ain't trying to be doing all that, coming with all that energy. We just trying to have a nice little cute little brunch here, nice peaceful brunch. We all gonna try to get along. So let's just play little musical chairs. So they move the seats around. They move Angela from sitting next to Britt, and they put Angela on the other side of the room, sitting her right next to, I believe, Shamia. But Drew was still sitting on the same side with where Britt was, but she was sitting next to Angela. So she's just like 2 seats over from Britt. And so Shamia asked, she was like, okay, so now we had a chance to breathe. What was the grounds on you losing your license though? And Britt was like, well, I almost lost my license. There's an investigation. Angela's like, I thought so. And Britt's like, what? She's like, I thought so. Like, you doing all this. And she was like, because I sell mortgage insurance. Like, it takes more than just something like that for you to lose your license. And then Drew chimes in like, we just trying to get to the bottom of this, and you got all this extra energy for us, and we We just trying to understand where you coming from. And then she's basically going off. Britt starts going off on Drew. And it just comes down to Britt repeatedly presents herself as this chick that is constantly being beat up on and being bullied because she's pretty. And it's so annoying because she brings it up constantly. She brought it up to her mom about the whole Kenya thing. She brought it up to her sister like a couple of episodes ago when her and her sister was talking about how her sister had to show up at the school to help her fight these girls all the time because she was being bullied so much. And I'm like, I don't think that's true. I think Britt is a mean girl. I think Britt is a mean girl who tries to present herself as a nice girl, but she's actually a mean girl. And if you let the tables turn and Britt gets a Kenya position on this show where she's kind of like center stage, you will quickly see Britt become a mean girl. You will see who she really, really is. She will be really mean. She'll be very nasty. She'll be very condescending. And I'm not just coming for this girl like, oh, I just don't like Britt. But I can read through the BS here. Britt wants to come off as the victim, as people doing things to her, when she's actually in reality, she's a mean girl. It just so happens that Kenya had a little bit of a leg up on her. And so Britt felt like she didn't have too many tools or things, about to say the wrong word. She didn't feel like she had enough tools in her tool belt to properly combat Kenya. And so instead of being the true mean girl that she is, she has to revert to playing like the victim. Now, is she the victim in this situation? Yes, she is. Should nobody have to face what they faced when Kenya thought it was okay to present all that stuff to a crowd full of people, pictures and images of her like that? That was not cool. Like, no. You are definitely the victim. But the thing about Britt is, I think we will see if she stays on this show that she loves to play the victim. She loves to be the type of person which is what I think either Angela or Drew said that she's the type of person to throw rocks and then hide her hands. And I really think that's what Britt gives. And I'm not checking for that. Like, we're going to stop the whole I'm a victim because I'm a pretty girl. And I think she even went on Watch What Happens Live with the same type of energy. She's the victim because you read between lines because she's pretty. No, Britt, you just really a nasty person. When people pull it out and come back at you, get back with you with it, all of a sudden you're the victim. So that's pretty much what this episode was giving y'all. There wasn't much else going on. I am loving Shamia's looks. Every time Shamia shows up on camera, on screen, she is looking amazing. I like her jokes. I don't know. I'm really feeling Shamia. I like her personality. I like her vibe. So yeah, I'm team Shamia, and I feel like it's like Shamia's show and everybody else is kind of falling in line. But anyway, y'all let me know what y'all think down in the comment section about this episode. If you watched, if you didn't watch, what do you think about whether or not Porsha will be able to come back next season? Because to me, it's not looking so promising for Porsha. So anyway, y'all, that's all for me. Y'all have a wonderful day, and I will chat with you guys later. Bye-bye for now.
Did you know that?
I didn't know that.
Now you know.
Oh.